Guys, welcome to the Wednesday Cardone University Mastermind. My name's Steve Sprague, coming to you live from the 305. See, guys, listen, you put it out there in the universe, it comes to you. I was on an airplane this weekend with a man, Trick Daddy, the original live from the 305. Okay, guys, welcome. Every Wednesday, we come to you live right here from the Cardone University studios to help you guys out. So if you're joining in, either you're an ambassador, you're on the mentorship program, you're on Cardone University, Cardone On Demand, or you're using one of our certification programs. We do this show every Wednesday to help relate the content to exactly what you're doing, so that way you can call in, ask questions, and we're going to be here to drop some additional knowledge on how to use Grant Cardone Sales Training Program to help you guys out. So welcome to the Wednesday Cardone University Mastermind. Hey, before I get into anything, we're gonna talk about one of the biggest things that I see problems with sales teams, sales people, and then I'm gonna show you how to use Cardone University to help it out. But first, I just want to let you guys know we got less than 100 tickets left to the 10X Growth Con, so we're excited about it. If you're on here, you're probably already going to the 10X Growth Con. If you're not going, hey, don't be a spectator. Show up to this event. This event right here is going to be incredible, life-changing event. So we'd love to see you there. Most importantly, we'd love to meet you. We'd love to meet you. So 10xgrowthcon.com, go there, check it out. We got less than 100 tickets. Man, we had 9,000 tickets that we were selling. That's a lot of tickets. That's a lot of tickets. We might know a thing or two about selling products. So welcome to the show. What we're going to talk about this week is going to be something where we see this happen in almost every company that we partner up with. We go in, we start looking at sales processes, we start asking questions. What's happening? Where's everything breaking down? A lot of times what we find out, and this is what I particularly find out, is, I'll start talking to a manager or a business owner or even a salesperson about, hey, where are you guys having trouble? And it always comes to, closing. Oh, man, we need help with follow-up. And I'm like, okay, well, what's happening before that? What's happening before we get into the close? Because the close should be easy. I'm going to show you today how to make the close super easy for you. And it comes down to one thing. It comes down to getting the dominant buying motive. And everything that I'm talking about today is right out of the program. I'm going to have Johnny click into it right now just to show you where it's at. If you guys are on the full curriculum, if you look inside the sales process, I'm going to show you where to learn how to sell your customer. This program right here called Fact Finding is going to be one of the most important things that you'll ever know about sales. Fact finding, getting to the dominant buying motive. Some of the questions that I'm going to be talking about today are going to come out of two of the videos right there. Clues from the last purchase and questions not to ask. Now, what happens is a lot of people, man, they've never went through the questions not to ask, so they're probably asking them. Let me go over a couple of the questions that we identified that are actually killing your deals. Can I help you? Okay, that question always kills it. It just kills the vibe. Okay, it kills the vibe. And by the way, guys, if you want to call in right now, the number 305-865-8668, that number right up there, 305-865-8668. Tell me about your fact finding. I'm going to help you out right here. So we're going to give a few of these. Another question I ask, hey, will you buy today? Earlier on in the process, man, you're actually making people feel weird. Listen, they came to you for one thing, or they were open to talk to you for one reason, information. So at this stage, I'm not ready to go in and say, hey, listen, if what is the question that we identified? What was the question that I had? I had a couple of them here. Let's see. Well, like even if you ask them, hey, listen, are you purchasing today? Are you going to be buying today? Man, that just makes you feel weird. Hey, listen, if I find you the right thing, are you willing to buy? Can I get a commitment that you'll buy? Like, dude, we haven't even looked at anything yet. So what happens is I don't even want to go there because it pushes them off right up front. I don't need to do that at the very beginning. Right? So another question, are you the final decision maker? Man, that makes people feel weird. So that actually pushes somebody up. Hey, are you the decision maker? There's better ways to ask that, and Grant talks about it inside the program. I mean, usually if you want to ask that question, it's probably somewhere inside, you're probably trying to set an appointment. Like if you're anything like me, I'm making cold calls, I'm trying to reach out to companies. I do want to find out, are you the decision maker, but that's not how I ask it. This is why you guys got to know the game. You got to know the questions to ask so you can get the right answers. That way you can lead yourself into a presentation where the customer, they're already coming in and they're thinking, hey, I'm actually looking at this product to solve some problems. So one area that you do want to take a look at this is going to be inside Master the Cold Call. So I'm going to have Johnny show you this part too. So some of these questions are going to come out of Master the Cold Call. So it just kind of depends on, if you go down, Johnny, right there on the left, you'll see Master the Cold Call. And these are actually going to come out of a program right down there at the left that says the cold call process. So Grant breaks down, hey, what questions do you ask on the cold call? So if I want to find out who the decision maker is, so if you guys see that, qualify the fact find. So if I'm trying to find out who the decision maker is, I don't want to make the person feel weird, you know, because sometimes you ask somebody, hey, are you the decision maker? That can be kind of weird. You know, that could actually make somebody feel like, oh man, does this guy even value my time? I'm an influencer in the deal. So if you actually jab an influencer, somebody's going to help you out on the inside like that and make them feel less, man, you're tearing yourself apart. This is where most salespeople, I mean, this happens to me, man. They call up and they're like, you know, they're trying to get to Grant, you know, and so they treat me like an influencer. I'm like, dude, don't treat me like an influencer. I'm the guy who actually can get you into the door that you'll never get into. You know what I'm saying? So like, dude, treat me like I'm somebody of value, because I am. But talk to me like, hey, who else would be an influencer in a decision like that? That's a great question to ask somebody. Hey, who else is going to be involved in a decision like this when you guys typically make them? You know, so I want to ask it in a better way. Hey, listen, I know that you're a huge influence to a decision like this, but when you typically make them, who else is going to be involved? And I'm going to start telling you, hey, listen, man, Todd's going to be involved, Jared's going to be involved, okay, Grant's going to be involved. These are the types of things that are actually going to like start coming out, because we're in communication, which is what you need to get to in the first place. So if you guys want to call in, you guys want to drop in 305-865-8668. That's the number. If you guys look right up at the top right there, there's the number to call in. So some of these questions that are killing your deals, will you buy today? Dude, so Grant talks about that being the salesperson's fault, whether you buy today or not, you know? So sometimes we'll actually reverse that. And we use a question, you know, somebody walks in or like they call in or we got them on the phone. I mean, we do this all the time in my office. Hey, you don't have to buy today, do you? It like kind of lets them down a little bit, like, no, I don't have to. Thank you. So I just want to get some information on this, because like I don't need to like literally hammer somebody right in that little stage where they're just looking for some information. You know, so don't ask that question like, will you buy today? Earlier on in the stage, I'm not in the close yet. So you guys don't want to prematurely try to close the deal. That's going to kill it. That's going to actually make them like lose, you know, any type of rapport that you're trying to build with them in the first place, because you're making them feel weird, right? Another question is this question, and I want you to write this down. This is something that happens for real estate agents. This happens for people in retail. This happens for definitely the SaaS products. Hey, what's your budget? What's your budget? Dude, listen, like let me break this down for you, okay? If you're at home right now, I want you to pay attention to this. Why would I want to ask somebody what their budget is if they don't even know what type of problem that we're solving? Like our company, we have a training program where we solve problems. We help companies make millions of dollars in sales. So if they don't understand the product yet before I talk to them, why does it matter what their budget is? It doesn't. Okay, the same thing happened to me. Like when I went to go buy, when I was leasing my place, the real estate agent that I work with, Cardone trained, by the way. Okay, one of my buddies. Okay, he was Cardone trained. Okay, I even actually told him, I said, hey man, listen, do not go over this number whatsoever. I don't even want to look at it. I got this number, that's my budget. I'm not going to look at it. He said, excellent, man. I'd be happy to stay under that number. Look, what's going to be the most important thing to you though? Okay, and I remember, it was funny because I was the one who trained the guy in the first place. And it was actually funny. He was like using all this on me, and it just worked so well because he's like, yeah, no problem, man. I'll keep you under that. What's going to be the most important thing to you? I'm like, dude, the view. The view was going to be the most important thing for me. Okay, and he's like, yeah, done. Let me send over some things that are in your view. I'll get it set up. The guy shot over some pictures, sent over some. I'm like, dude, that's the one right there. Dude, I was like, dude, that's it right there. I love to live in a place like that. Okay, he's like, yeah, no, I got an appointment set up for tomorrow. Okay, when can you come take a look at it? You know, and so what happens, dude, I was $500, $600 a month over the budget that I told him, hey, dude, don't ever go over that whatsoever. You know, because it didn't matter because I had not known up to this point what was even available or that it even solved some of the problems that I actually had. Right? So we got people coming to us all the time. They're like, hey, here's our training budget. You know, we wouldn't go over that. So like, I don't want to ask the guy up front, well, let me show you something on a budget. He doesn't even know what types of problems I'm solving for him. You know, if I charged you $10,000 for a training program that was going to be worth $1 million to you, would you pay for it? Of course you would, but you don't even know until I can show you the value. So if I just stop it up front, like, hey, Johnny, hey man, it's going to be $10,000. Is that inside your budget? What are you going to tell me? Yeah, well, yeah, that, or maybe you'd be like, no, dude, I've never, no. You know, so you guys have got to really understand the questions that kill your deals. So what you want to do is you want to go inside the sales process right there. You want to break down the fact-finding questions. Okay, so Johnny's going to re-hover over the sales process right there. And if you guys want to call in right now, I'd love to take some questions about just some of the questions that you're asking. And I want to hear, hey, what problems are you seeing inside your deal? And I want to break down some of the things that you may be saying that may be messing up your sales process. Okay, so some of the questions that you should ask is, hey, why haven't you done this already? Hey, thank you for giving me an opportunity. Let me ask you this. What is a couple reasons why you haven't done this? I mean, have you seen this before, or is this your first time looking at it? You know, if I'm like, another question that I asked a company the other day, I was on the phone with a guy, you know, and he's talking about, hey, we're the best company in this space. We're the #1 company. We crush it here. We do this, we do that, but we just need to add something to what we're doing just to give it a little bit more flavor. And I said, excellent. How much money did you guys spend last month on training? He was like, well, I mean, you know, we actually didn't spend any money last month on training. I said, excellent. Okay, it totally brought the guy into communication. Now he's actually thinking with, dude, we never trained him, and we're actually doing well. And then I started talking to him about all the problems that he had, and he's like, no, we got that problem. I said, dude, we got the solution. So this is where you guys take questions, and once you can get the dominant buying motive, you tie that in to your product, you tie that into the presentation, and now I'm actually showing them options to solve that problem. But I can't ever get to that dominant buying motive if, one, I'm asking the wrong questions, or if, two, I never ask the right questions. Let's go ahead and take a caller.
Juan, in Texas.
Juan, what's happening?
Hey, Steve, how you doing?
Dude, I'm doing unbelievable. How you doing, Juan?
Yeah, I'm doing good, man. Quick question, you know, it's along the lines of what you're talking about right now. I actually cold call 4 digital marketing agencies. I'm a freelancer.
Okay.
And I actually cold call. Yeah, so part of my process is actually, you know, making sure they can act, you know, any of their clients can actually afford their service, which is on average, you know, at least $1,000, you know, between at least $1,000 to maybe $8,000 on maybe a website design or social media marketing. But, you know, you just said, I mean, you can't ask for a budget. Is it the fact that you can't ask for a budget, or is it just how you ask it?
Just how you ask it, man. I mean, everybody's got a budget for it, but let me ask you this. I mean, have you ever went over a budget that you had?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, why'd you do that?
Well, I fell in love with the car, man.
Yeah, exactly, man, because you fell in love with it. It solved some problems for you. You're like, hey, dude, this is way out of my budget, but it makes me look a lot cooler. It solves a lot of problems for me with the ladies, man. I like it. I'm willing to pay it. I'm willing to do it. You know what I'm saying? So that's where, like, dude, just because, like, they put the budget on it a long time ago based off what?
Based on the results? I mean, based
off stuff they've already done, man, in the freaking past. I mean, I'm talking about way back there. So they're basing a budget off what they've already done.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't need to ask what their budget is because I'm going to stretch their budget in the first place anyways.
So how would you ask? I mean,
well, what questions are you even asking when you call up? Let's talk about that. So when you call up and you drop your pitch, I mean, what's some things that you got to figure out? You said something about their clients buying your product. What's that mean?
Say again, their clients what?
You said something about their clients buying your product, right?
Yeah. I'm a freelancer.
I don't know what that means.
So I work for digital marketing agencies, and I have to make sure that, you know, the digital marketing agencies clients can at least afford a product. So, you know, of course, I pre-qualify them. I make sure that they're even spending money on, you know, social media marketing or something like that, or if that's something they would be interested in.
What if they don't spend money on it? At some point, all the people that you've sold didn't spend money on digital marketing.
Yeah.
So this is where the fact finding comes in, man, because this is where I've got to figure out. People make their decisions based on past experiences, either in a bad way or in a good way. So what I want to do is I want to find out, like, dude, where's my opportunity to get in this deal?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So the fact that they haven't spent money on digital marketing could be my way in. It could be a great question to ask somebody. You know what I mean? So not that that's not a bad question, because that could be a great question.
Yeah.
Hey, how much money did you guys spend on digital advertising last month?
Oh, okay, yeah.
You know, it could be a great question, right? Because maybe he'd be like, well, we didn't spend any money. Or maybe he could say, well, we spent $300. You know, so like what type of ROI would somebody get if they dropped $1,000 on your deal?
Well, actually, one of our past case studies is that somebody spent $400, that's a $20,000 return with a brand new website, you know, with one of our in the first month, and so that's one of the ones that I'm using right now. And
yeah, hey, listen, man. The only reason I reached out to you is because I got a client. Okay, he spent $400 on our program. We got a $20,000 return on that investment. Now, how much money did you guys spend on digital marketing last month?
Yeah, that's sweet right there.
But then this is where I need to go in, man. This is where I need to dig in the deal. You got to get to the dominant buying motive. I talk about this probably every week. I say, guys, listen, you got to keep asking the questions to dig deep, because they're not going to come out. They don't even know yet that they've got a problem with digital marketing. He's like, well, man, that's what we spent. We did spend $400. You know?
Yeah.
And so then I got to ask them, well, hey, listen, what do you guys like best about what you're doing right now?
Yeah.
You know, and then I'm asking them the question too, hey, listen, if you're willing to look at this, let me ask you, are you taking this phone call because you're looking to replace what you're doing right now? Or are you taking this phone call because you want to add to it? Those are two different types of pitches. And what happens is, guys, you're going into these presentations, you're going into your demos, you guys set the appointment, but you go into the demo with the wrong expectation. You go in trying to hit a grand slam on the deal, which is what you want, but this company might be looking at you for a different reason and you don't even know what it is. So how could you ever get to where you want to go if you don't know where they're at?
Find out what they want.
Totally, man. Hey, listen.
Why they would buy it.
Hey, so when I do set the appointment, Juan, hey, thanks a lot for taking the appointment on Thursday, man. I can't wait to show you what we're doing. But let me ask you this before we do it. Are you looking to replace what you're doing now, or is this going to be in addition to what you guys are already doing?
I mean, if I did make a decision, it would probably be to replace it, dude. Perfect,
man. Is that because you guys aren't getting the type of results that you're looking for right now, or is that because
I mean, you know, we got good ROI, but you know what you said sounds a lot better.
It is a lot better. I can't wait to show it to you. Let me ask you this. With that type of ROI, would you consider looking at it right now?
Right now, no, I don't have the time right now.
Okay, no problem, man. And I know you're probably the busiest guy in your company, but let me ask you this so I'm prepared for the meeting. When your company makes decisions like this, other than yourself, who else influences decisions like that?
Well, I mean, I'm probably going to have to get Mike on the phone call.
Perfect, man. And what's going to be Mike's biggest concern for this phone call on Thursday?
You know, at the end of the day, Mike just wants to see a good ROI. You know, I mean, if the proof is in the pudding, then, you know, he'll invest in anything.
Excellent, man. So my job is going to be pretty easy then, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Perfect. So what would he say no to? Because you know Mike better than I know him. I've never talked to Mike.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he would probably say
no. See, guys,
to...
listen, this is what I'm talking about. This is where you got to like dig in. I'm talking about go into the deal.
Yeah.
Get into the questions, because what happens is you're just asking these like surface level questions, and you're going into your meeting like, I got a demo. This one's going to be a good one. I set such a great appointment. Dude, they should be walking into your demos so sold on the idea that they sit down where they're literally on the call going, okay, hey, listen, I'm sitting here with my guy Mike, and what should be going through their minds is, dude, we're actually thinking about replacing what we're doing right now. This is a big decision for our company.
Yeah, exactly.
Versus me just doing like a lunch call, like, okay, man, show me what you got. You know, and the guy puts you on mute, and he's sitting there eating his burrito, and he's chilling. He's not even listening to you. And then you ask a question, and he's like, "Oh yeah, no, what was that?"
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Repeat what you just said, dude. Because he's not even paying attention to it, because he didn't come into the meeting with the right expectations.
Because I didn't have the right questions.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly, man. So, dude, listen. So listen. It sounds like you're picking up a lot from this. What'd you like best about what you heard?
Well, I mean, the ROI part sounds really, really good. I mean, I was really impressed with the results.
Okay. Yeah. No, I'm asking you personally, Juan. What'd you personally like from calling into the show today?
Dude, I mean, you put it into a whole different perspective, man. You made the question asking more personable.
Yep.
And you're right. I was keeping the questions on the surface, and I need to get really into detail about why they would buy something, or why they would even consider buying social media marketing, or why they would even consider buying web design.
And once you get to that point, Juan, guess what, buddy? Now you're in a demo. How much better do you feel about pitching it, right? Where like you actually know, you're like, dude, I'm the expert here. I actually know how to sell this guy. This is going to be pretty simple.
Mm-hmm,
okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so then you do a slam dunk presentation. Then guess what happens at the end of the deal?
It's a layup fucking close.
It's a layup freaking close, my man. See, this is what I'm talking about, dude. I'm telling you. Listen, guys, you want to make closing easier? Get better at everything else.
Yeah.
What typically happens is you guys are trying to grind people out in the close because you guys did a terrible presentation. All right, Juan, thanks a lot for calling in, man. Dude, that excellent. Appreciate that.
All right. I got Dominic from Pohanka Honda in Maryland.
Oh, sweet. Dominic, what's up, man? How you doing? Dominic, what's happening?
Hey, Steve, how's it going?
Dude, it's going awesome, man. What's happening up there?
So we got a lot going on. My main question, okay, is how you convince the customer, okay, not to go and compare your product with another product. So I sell Honda, and I have customers that come in and compare us with Mazda and Toyota, and we have sales tools, okay, that allow you to compare our product against other products.
Yep.
So we have HondaCars.com, and it'll literally tell you, the benefits of our product over the competitors, and it'll even be honest and tell you when the competitors are beating us. So
I love
in
that.
instances when we sweep the competition, just totally sweep the competition, how do I convince the customer that I'm showing you here, at my desk, before you even go and look at the competition, that
you don't need to convince them.
The competition.
How
do you convince them?
Yeah, great
that
question.
It's not necessary to go to Mazda or Toyota when I'm showing you here at my desk that we're beating them across the board.
Perfect. So you don't necessarily have to convince them. You need to get them to convince themselves.
Okay.
Now, if you remember what Grant talks about inside fact finding, he says questions control the cycle. So if I want to literally walk somebody down a path, and if I know what play to run, I'm going to ask them, I'm start asking them questions, and it sounds like you're a little bit further along in the process. I'm going to ask them up front, though. I'm going to find out, hey, who else are you looking at?
Okay.
I'm going to show you 3 options today on the Honda product, but other than Honda, who else are you looking at? I want to learn that up front so that way I can ask them, hey, so this is where I start using trial closes too. When I'm in my presentation where I'm asking them, hey, what do you like best about what you've seen so far? Well, man, I love the Hondas, man, I love the Accord, man. The EXL model has everything. Excellent, man. How does that compare to everything else you've looked at? Better. I like it a lot better, actually.
Okay.
So maybe I'm going to start using some of those questions to let them get themselves to the place, because they need options, right? Like they need options to make the decision. So like maybe some of the Mazdas and the Kias help you out in a way where you never thought about before. So most people think that, they cancel out what they do because, oh my God, now there's competition in the marketplace. It actually allows them to really think with what's going on, So I may even ask them, hey, listen, we're in this. What's going to be the most important thing that you're looking for today? Thank you for stopping by the Honda store here at Pohanka. What's going to be the most important thing that we get you information on today? Well, we just came by to look at your Honda Accords. Excellent. We're going to get you 3 models on that. I've got 4 different options available, but I'm going to get you the 3 models that you're looking at. Tell me how you want that equipped. Okay. Now,
okay.
what I may try to ask inside there is I'm going to try to find out as I'm doing my walk around a little bit. Hey, let me ask you this. What else are you guys looking at? hey, is this your first Honda product? Because again, I need to go back to the scene of the crime. You know, like I want to find out, hey, is this going to be your first Honda? Is this going to be brand new for you? Is this the first time? Is this going to be in addition to what you guys have right now? I need to get them to start talking about it, because somewhere along the line, man, they're going to tell you. They're going to start puking on you. And you're going to find this out. You ask enough questions, they turn at this one point, and they just start puking on you. And they start telling you everything. Well, I'll tell you what we're really looking for is you'll see it happen. But you got to ask enough questions to get them there. And then later on down the line, when they're like, well, we still want to go look at Mazda. Excellent. Hey, Mazda's got a great product. Let me ask you this. If the price were the same, who would you rather do business with?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I need to get them to start to, well, you know what, we actually, you know, we like the Honda Accord, man. The EXL model's sweet. You know, you guys got the color we want plus the sunroof. Excellent. Why else do you guys like it? Well, you know, we've had Hondas before. They worked out well for us. Excellent. Why else? You know, and so I want to take the price out of it, and I want to find out, hey, what do you like best about this? Other than price, what do you like better about what do you like best about this product? Or what do you not like? You know, I need to get to the bottom of it. I need to take price out of it. Does that make sense?
Makes a lot of sense.
Perfect, man. So listen, ask more of those questions as you're going along, and you don't need to convince them of anything. You just need to use the questions where they convince themselves. Because if I can get them to make the decision that, dude, these Hondas are sweet. They're way better than Mazdas. They've always been better than Mazdas. Right? If I can get them to have that decision themselves, then I don't need to do any of the work. Excellent. Hey, that's why I work for Honda. I thought the exact same thing. You know what I'm saying? Then it gets a lot easier, right? And then we get into if we get into negotiations and they're like, well, the Mazda store does this a little bit cheaper, then I can be like, you know, like they've already told you that, hey, listen, I would rather do the Honda anyways. You know, like you need to get them to that decision. And so the fact-finding questions matter almost probably more than anything else. Okay?
Okay.
Great question, man. Dude, hey, listen, you're probably going to have to go back, rewind, and like I dropped a lot of questions in there, and like you probably really want to write those down. And when you guys are role-playing up there at Pohanka, dude, you need to do what I did when I was in the store, dude. I found one guy that I could sit and role-play with every single day, and dude, I was fresh every single day when I went to go hit the lot. It was easy for me. It was almost easy because like I was rehearsed before I went and got in front of the customers. Cool?
I hear you.
All right, brother.
Makes a lot of sense.
Hey, man. Thanks a lot, Dom. Take care, buddy.
Christine in San Francisco.
Christine, the LinkedIn Jedi Master.
Hey, Steve.
How are you today?
I am fabulous. I have a couple things for you. A, thanks for your emails. I totally appreciate your sharing information about what's best for me.
I always share my information with my best clients.
I'm honored. And I also wanted to let you know that I've completely been like obsessing on doing modules on Cardone U. And the more modules I do, the better my business is.
Well, and I'll tell you exactly why.
Amazing. It's magic.
And I'll tell you exactly why, Christine. The number one thing when you look at training, the number one thing is repetition. And this is where most people, they think that, oh, I'm going to watch the video one time and then I'm going to get it. Or else they watch the video and they're like, oh, that doesn't work. Like, dude, you haven't even watched it enough to even get it. Repetition is part of the deal.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I remember you saying, watch it a second time and you'll get more from it than you got the first time, and it's absolutely true.
This is what this is what I always tell my people here. I say, hey, listen, if you're sick of the videos, you're getting close.
I know. It's like when I was studying for tests in school, when I knew what was on the next page before I even flipped the page, then I knew the material.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. So repetition matters. That's the important part about the program. Who was it? Who was the Bruce Lee? The famous Bruce Lee quote. He says, hey, listen, I don't fear the man who practices 10,000 kicks one time. I fear the man who practices one kick 10,000 times. That's exactly what you all should be doing with the training segments. I'm giving you guys questions right now, and we probably went through 15, 20 questions.
They're golden.
Yeah, they are golden. But grab 3 or 4 or 5 of them and then practice those. And have your go-tos. And practice them, drill them, rehearse them, and really know where people are going to go when you do ask them. Because when you know that, dude, then all of a sudden you kind of, you know what you're doing. You feel comfortable. You know what's going on. Your confidence level is up here. And when you can bring confidence to the sales pitch, feels a lot better on the other side, man. People can really like connect with that. They can be like, and for those of you who are doing the questions online, you guys are doing like email marketing and things like that. Dude, same thing goes for you, short and tight. What's the other question that I can help you out with?
Yeah, so I just had a huge success. A guy I met 4 years ago and have followed up. He's come see me speak. I just closed him. And it was super easy. He was driving in his car and gave me his credit card number.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, and a financial advisor. So not really super easy to work with because of compliance issues.
Yeah, totally.
But we're like, I'm so excited to work with him. So I just wanted to say, share that success and give you feedback on what's been going just amazingly well, thanks to me doing Cardone U and listening to you every week, even if I don't get to call in.
Yeah, no, hey, thanks a lot, and I really appreciate that. And just, guys, Christine's been crushing it since she's been on the program, and she calls in every week. She drops in. She's like totally engaged in the material. This is the example of what happens when you go all in on something, and she doesn't have like a second choice. She's like, hey, this is what I'm all in on this deal, and I'm using it every single day, and it's working for her incredibly. So, Christine, thanks a lot for that call. And I can't wait to hear more success from you because I know it's coming. Awesome. Guys, listen, so this week, what I want you to pay attention to, number one, is like identify what questions you are asking. And then, so if you know what not to ask, let's go over those again. I wrote some down. Will you buy today? Don't ask that question. It kills you. Okay. Don't ask, what is your budget? Never ask that question. That's a terrible question because what happens is it locks somebody in. You know what I mean? Johnny, if you ask me what my budget was, what am I going to tell you? You're going to actually force me to lie. I'm going to be like, well, hey, guess what, Johnny? How about my budget $0? How about that? How about that for you? Yeah, exactly, dude. So like, I'm not even going to ask anybody that question. And this is what I like can't stress enough for you guys. They don't understand your product yet. So how could their budget even exist for it? If you solved the problem that was big enough, you think they'd stretch their budget? Yeah, of course. I'm trying to sell, it's the purse, for the girlfriend. Dude, if it solves a big enough problem, dude, you may be dropping some coin on that deal. I know your budget wasn't $1,500 when you walked into that store. I know it wasn't. That wasn't my budget when I went in there. I'll tell you that. Okay, but guess what? Solved a big problem. I'm like, dude, here's my visa. So listen. The other thing is how's your credit? Don't ask that question. Don't ask somebody how their credit is. How are you able? Dude, the people who pull the credit don't even know. So how are you going to make a judgment on what to show that person or how to qualify them based off what they tell you that their credit is? And trust me, if they got bad credit, dude, how, you know what I mean? Come on. Don't ask that question. Okay, so hey, if people got trade-ins, if they're trying to trade a product in, what do you owe? Dude, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. That's not your fault. Don't take responsibility for something that wasn't yours. Handle it later, dude. If you do the training, it becomes easy. That shouldn't be a problem for you. Another thing, for you guys who have setup fees, you guys have down payments, how much money can you guys put down today? Terrible question. Hey, listen, you don't have to put any money down today, do you? It's probably going to be the one question I'm going to ask because nobody else is asking that question. Nobody else is saying, hey, you don't have to put money down, do you? We can keep your payments the same, right? You know what I'm saying? These are all word tracks that Grant's using inside the program, okay? Some of the questions to ask, I did print those off. That way you guys can have some good questions to take away. If you're taking notes at home, hey, so tell me, is this the first time you've looked at it, or would this be something you've already looked at before? If they've told you that, we've looked at something like this before, excellent. Why haven't you done it before? Why haven't you done this yet? I want to ask them, why haven't you done this yet? I want to find out. Christine was following that customer around for 4 years. One of the great questions that she could have asked a long time ago, hey, John, listen, I see you at my events. I see you around. I'm really curious. Why haven't you done this yet? Is it me? Is it the product? Is it the service? What is it? What is it? Are you not able to handle this type of inflow, the type of leads that I'm going to provide for you? What is it? So another question. have you ever done something like this before? Is a great question to ask somebody, especially for the digital marketing guy. You know, hey, do you guys use this now? And what I think he was alluding to was that, hey, you know, I got to find out if they're doing this, because if they don't do it, I got to get off the phone. I think he'd mentioned something like that. Dude, that's not what you want to look at, man. Maybe the reason that he does look at it is because they're not doing this right now. You know, have you ever bought something like this before? Is this the first time you purchased a product like this before? Is this the first time you've used a service like this before? You know, so you guys got to ask those questions because they matter for your presentation. We're going to talk about that next week. Okay. Another question I may ask when somebody's not giving me a dominant buying motive, you know, what's your real concern? You know, hey, I'm happy to get you that information. Let me ask you, what's your real concern here? You know, it's like a harder question to ask, something that I can really dig into. Another thing, let's see, other than yourself, who needs to be involved? You know, I don't need to ask, you're not the decision maker, are you? We used to have this guy, he was awesome, I liked him, but he when he first came in here, one of the questions I heard him ask on the phone was, are you the check signer? You know? That's like it's a running joke in our office. It's kind of funny because it's but you know, you don't need to ask that, dude. Hey, who else influenced it? Let the guy tell you, but like kind of dance around the subject. John, listen, obviously you're a major influence to a decision like this for your company, but other than yourself, who's going to put some influence on a decision like this? He'll tell you the truth. We'll tell you, well, listen, Sherry's going to make the final decision, but I got to run this by Todd, and I got to do this. And if Todd doesn't want to do it, then and it gets axed by Sherry, blah, blah, blah. Like, know the deal when you go into the presentation, you know? And then get him to set his expectations right going into the meeting, okay? Guys, listen, I threw a lot at you this week, but it all came down to questions. So just, you know, go back to this. We archive these inside the program, Cardone University. They're under Mastermind. Just go back to the last one. I dropped a ton of questions. And just remember, questions control the cycle. If you go into the sales process, fact finding is where you're going to, this is where I learned everything, guys. This is where I learned all these different things to use inside a communication with somebody, so that way I know how to present my product, because it could be different to some people. Okay, so guys, thanks a lot for joining. Every Wednesday, we come to you live right here from the 305, helping you guys out. Use Cardone University, and we'll be back here next week. If you guys haven't got your 10X GrowthCon tickets, we have less than 100. This stack of 10 may be the last stack that we even have available, okay? Because we've sold them out. Okay, all right, guys, listen, thanks for joining. We'll see you back here next week.